Now that I've been doing extensions, there's a time where, you have to remove them, get them rebonded, which is the beauty of the individuals that I do, and then put them back in. But in that period to remove and put them back in, I style the hair so that they can leave still feeling okay. The face they give in the mirror is kind of like, okay.
When I would get my extensions out, and get them rebonded that night or that 2 days
The
or whatever,
2-day waiting
I wouldn't
period?
see people.
Yeah.
Like if anyone asked me to do anything, or I was like, no, can't.
It's really
Yeah.
interesting to see the demeanor, the feeling, the personality change. It just kind of just like, oh, okay. And I'm always making a joke. I'm like, you're welcome. At least I still styled you. And they're like, thanks for this. And I'm like, don't worry, you'll get it back in like a day or two. So it's really fascinating how much it means to someone and how impactful having full hair is for someone.
Almost dying taught me how to live. Being struck by a car left me in a 3.5-week coma with 15 broken bones and 16 surgeries to complete, including brain surgery. However, I woke up from that coma in an even greater place than I ever foresaw for myself. How? The universe will guide you out of the darkness and into the light if you allow it. Often, spirituality comes off as too highbrow. I'm not about that. Welcome to the podcast that talks and teaches about it through the lens of humor. Together, we'll harness positive energy and use it to work with the universe, all while giggling the entire time. Welcome to Gabriella Rebranded. Win most, lose some. Hello, everyone. Today, I'm sitting down with Izzy Guzman. We all know him as Izzy. He is a celebrity hairstylist, a hair colorist, which is primarily how I know him, a hair extension specialist, a crystal shop owner, a friend, and a spiritual student, which is why he is absolutely perfect for this podcast. I met him when I was going through my own tumultuous journey with my hair, and to catch all up to speed, I had the front of my hair shaved off when I had brain surgery, which at the time we thought was a miracle because it was just the front of my hair and not, all of my hair, which is great. My hair is like 70% of my personality. I've been saying that since I was like 15. I have a ton of thick, curly hair, like so much hair. I have so much hair. And so much of my life is like planned around my hair, like when I wash it, when I'm gonna do it, like when I have time to do it, like the humidity. For example, if it rains, I will not wear my hair down. If the humidity is over 70%, I will not wear my hair down. Like my hair likes LA so much better than New York. My soul and my spirit likes New York a bit better than LA, but like my soul likes my hair more than both those places. So we defer to the hair, and that is why I just bought a condo in West Hollywood, because my hair is happiest when it's here, and I'm happiest when my hair is happy. I've tried all the hair products, all the hair routines. I went to 7 different hair cutter people, I don't know what the word is, before I found the one that I currently work with. I absolutely adore her. She's the best. I will also include her page in the episode notes. And when I lived in New York and when I was like home from college on breaks, I would dead ass trek into Manhattan to go to a specific person to color and cut my hair. I found out during COVID that she was failing me and highlighting my hair completely wrong, which was a major loss. But then I moved to LA for, the long haul. So I was going to have to say goodbye anyway. So, it was just a little bit of an earlier goodbye. But when I was fake blonde for like a little less than a decade. And when I was fake blonde, I probably spent like over $3,000 a year on my hair. And now I spend a little less, but that's what curly hair requires. There is a pink tax, there is a brown tax that is associated with curly hair. It is an underserved community. And my highlights, my haircuts are always a crazy amount of money. Like I'm talking like $500 for highlights or like stuff like that, like $200, $300 for a haircut. Like that is the unfortunate dark reality of curly hair. Now I'm back to brown. It's my natural color, so it's a bit cheaper, but I still, curly hair, it's not nice how much they charge for y'all. That's actually why I love my current hair person. She is trying to help an underserved community that's marginalized and make curly hair care as affordable as she can. The hours I put into my hair, the work, the love it requires. Neither of my parents have curly hair. My mom's hair is practically thin, straight, ultra fine. So when I was little, I had curly hair and, no one knew what to do with it. And then when I was like 5, 6, it went straight as curly hair often does. And then when I hit puberty at like 11, 12, I hit puberty hella early. My curls came back, but we didn't know that because we were treating it like it was straight hair. So I was brushing it while it was dry, which anyone with curly hair knows the worst thing you can do for curly hair is brush it while it was dry. It's just out to here. And I thought I just had really bad, really frizzy hair. I remember in the 7th grade, I wore my hair up in a bun every single day in the 7th grade because I just thought I had terrible hair. And curly hair is so hard. Then when I was like 13, 14, I went to a haircut person, and I don't know why it took someone so long to figure it out. But then again, I know exactly why. It's because curly hair is an underserved community. But when I was like 13, 14, I went to a haircut person who happened to be a curly hair expert. And she was like, no, bitch, you don't have bad hair. You have curly hair and you just are not taking care of it. And I was like, oh, and that's what started my hair journey. And that's what got us to kind of where we are now, but not really, because we're going to get into it. I've probably used 50 plus different products. I've had 10 plus different curly hair routines. Like, how I sleep is dictated by my hair. I used to love bonnets. Right now, I'm living silk scarves. Like, that's why I only like to sleep at a guy's house if I like preemptively know and am prepared. When it's like, how do you say, like impromptu? I've dead ass left before. I've dead ass left. Like in college, I was way too insecure to do that. Now I'm overly confident and it will be like 4 a.m. and I'm like, I gotta go. And he's like, you're more than welcome to stay. And I'm like, I really don't mean to bruise your ego, but the hair care and skincare routine is taking priority. And like, I need to go. I need to sleep how I sleep. I literally leave and take care of my hair. In like an ideal, perfect world, I would literally have sex with a silk scarf wrapped around my hair. I literally would do that. I say when I'm in my next serious relationship, like dating for 3+ years, I'm going to be like, hey, this is what we're doing. It works better for me. But like, are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? Like, are you starting to see how much of a fuck I give about my hair and how much of my life is oriented around my hair? So when I had brain surgery and they didn't shave it all off, they only shaved off here, it was a miracle. But what was remaining, it was filled with blood and it was so matted and I wasn't able to shower and wash my hair for a while. So my mom, the nurses begged her to cut my hair off, but she worked for days, for hours, tirelessly, like untangling my hair, just trying hard. And the nurses begged and begged her to cut it off. But she said no, because she said that if they cut off my hair and I woke up, I would, one, be devastated when I already had a ton to be devastated about, but I would also, more importantly, think she had given up on me and think that I wasn't coming back. So she spent hours working on, like, that is how much my mom does for me. Like, I think about that all the time. Like, it sounds so stupid, but just like she was by my uncle would beg her to stop when he was visiting me in the hospital. Visiting, it sounds so fun and cute, but no, he would be like, come on. And she just know, like, she's worked at it tirelessly. And listen, she did a great job. She saved like 90% of my hair, because I lost 10%, but like 90% of my hair was preserved and she did a great job. And like, yeah, she lost the boobs, but she got to keep the hair. And beggars can't be choosers. So it was like a huge win. And I wanted to get out of inpatient rehab so badly, and I wanted to get out of the hospital so badly for a lot of reasons. But one of my primary reasons was I wanted back to my hair products. Like, I wanted back to my curly hair routine. Like, that is a prime reason I wanted out. Like, two of the first things I did when I was out of the hospital was get my hair cut and get my hair highlighted, especially because like I was supposed to get my hair highlighted like 3 days after my accident. That obviously did not happen. I was also supposed to get my hair cut at that same appointment. That did not happen. So my hair was so overgrown and it was, the color was grown out. It was way too long. The ends were terrible. And that is a prime reason I think beauty specialists should come into the hospital and do your hair and do your skincare routine while you're comatose. I said what I said. Okay. I said what I said. And that is because looking like yourself is so important to healing. Like looking like yourself, feeling like yourself, it goes so hand in hand, like your internal and your external. And like at the very least, someone should be washing your face. When I left inpatient rehab, my skin was the worst it had ever been in my entire life. So I lose everything about myself. And then my hair is terrible and my skin is terrible. Like it was the absolute worst. And that's why I will die on that hill. Beauty specialists should come in to the hospital and take care of patients. Like I said what I said. And if you think I'm an asshole, you probably haven't had your hair fall out of your head. Spoiler alert, that's where this episode is going. So shut the fuck up. The happiness of keeping 90% of my hair and getting back to my hair products once I left inpatient rehab, it was short-lived because when I showered, clumps of my hair were coming out. And I chalked it up to the neck brace matting my hair. And I was like, it's all going to be fine. Spoiler. And I was like, it's all going to be fine. But as this story tends to go, it was absolutely not fine. And when I got my neck brace off, my hair continued coming out. And the second time I showered, when I just had these massive clumps of my hair that had come out. And I remember I looked at the hair, I had it in my hands, and I ran down the stairs. And actually, that's a lie, because at this point, I could not run. I was like taking 2 baby steps to get down the stairs. I wasn't even allowed to walk down the stairs by myself until I got my neck brace off. I literally needed supervision and someone to hold my hand and take me down the stairs. So I took my baby steps 2 steps at a time, like 2 feet on one step. And I did that, but on a mission down the stairs. And I walked into my kitchen at, whatever pace, very slow, on a mission. And I screamed at my parents. That is actually also a lie as well, because at this point, I could not scream. I was mispronouncing everything and I could barely talk above a whisper. So I passionately and quietly just said to my parents, like, what is going on? My hair is falling out of my head. And my dad, as a doctor, he just had like this look of like, holy fuck, I forgot. And I was like, what? And then it was revealed. So when the body goes through trauma, the hair can fall out of your head. It happens to a lot of women after they give birth. And on top of that, anesthesia can make hair very brittle and break off. And by this point, I had 8 or 9 surgeries. So like what wasn't falling out was breaking off, and what wasn't breaking off was falling out. And it was just a perfect storm of Gabriella losing her hair. And the first time I cried, like actually cried, about my physical everything was when I realized my hair was falling out. Like the first time I cried about a reason that wasn't espresso martinis, like a legitimate reason, was when I realized that my hair was falling out. And I sobbed. It wasn't the most dramatic cry I've ever had because I was so vocally limited. But the tears were probably the most plethora of tears I've ever had. And it was truly the most heartbreaking and leveling aspect of my physical health, and just absolutely soul crushing because I had already lost all these parts of myself. And now I was losing my hair. Like I thought we had kept my hair. I thought that was such a win. And now it lost it. And it got to the point where each time I showered, I lost more hairs. And each time my mom would braid my hair afterwards, and the braid kept getting thinner and thinner, and my part kept getting wider and wider. And I was terrified to shower because of that. And I delayed showering as much as possible. And when I was doing the prep for this episode and I was writing down that note, that bullet just reminding me of when that happened, I literally got chills, like shivers down my spine, because it was like a PTSD muscle memory back, like of how just my mom braiding my hair and how thin it was and how terrible that was. And we started with toppers, hoping that the hair falling out would kind of stop, and my hair would just be very thin. But my hair kept going and going, and by going and going, I mean falling and falling. So then it wound up being wigs and fake ponytails, and I didn't have my hair at all, and I didn't have my dignity with that, and it was just terrible. And in July 2022, when I moved back to LA, my mom took me to Hair by Violet on a whim, which is an extension boutique. And we didn't think they were going to be able to give me extensions because curly hair extensions that don't look terrible is nearly impossible to find. And on top of that, my hair was so short, like shorter than a bob. So we didn't think it was long enough to get the extensions, but however, Violet Tariti is a godsend, and she was able to do it and able to give me my hair back. And she's one of the only people that can do that. Her company's based here in Beverly Hills, but they ship extensions to wherever, if you want to look them up on Instagram. And she is one of the only people who can do that with curly hair. And she services some of the most high-end clientele, A-listers. And it truly gave me myself back or part of myself back. When I got my hair back, it was getting a part of myself back. I was rejuvenated. I cried when I got my hair back. So this time it was happy tears that I was crying, but the whole process of hair was a very emotional journey. They were perfect curls. They matched my curl pattern completely. People that I knew before my accident who didn't know I got extensions thought they were real and were shocked when it was extensions. People that met me did not think I had extensions. And then when I talked about how it was extensions, they were like, what? It was truly incredible. And through that process, I met Izzy, who is here today. I had my extensions taken out for good in January 2024. So I had them put in July 2022, and they were not removed until January 2024. And through that whole process, I met Izzy, who was my colorist. I don't have extensions anymore, but Izzy is still my colorist because he is the absolute best. He also now does individual extensions in addition to, he was always dyeing extension bundles, but now he both dyes extension bundles and does individual extensions. He only did my color. He wasn't doing individual extensions at the time, but now he's added that. But when I was thinking about who to have on for this episode, because I knew I wanted to talk about hair as it relates to trauma, he was the first person I thought of because Izzy and I have such a repertoire, but specifically a spiritual one. Every time I go to an appointment, we talk about our spiritual growth and how it pertains to our friendships, our relationships, our career, life in general. Izzy has seen me at my absolute worst. He saw me a few days before my housewarming when I was having like a mental breakdown. He has also seen me at some of the most positive and happiest moments of my life. And he's just really helped me grow and really been along for that ride and like looked at it through the lens of a fellow spiritual student. So I am so excited to sit down with him today. I never leave an appointment without some spiritual takeaway. So I can't wait to see what he's going to share with us today. And I'm excited to introduce you guys to Izzy. So without hesitation, here he is. Izzy.
Hi.
Thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a long time coming.
Yes.
We're a California fires reschedule.
Reschedule during the wildest, craziest.
During the craziest time ever when we didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah.
So Izzy, he was my hair colorist. I found him during my hair journey that you just heard about, but he is still my hair colorist
Yes,
since
I
I got
am.
my extensions out. He
You're
makes
looking amazing.
Thank you. He helped me go back to brunette after being fake blonde for nearly a decade.
Fake blonde, I love that.
Fake blonde.
I found the tone that works amazing on you.
Amazing. I mean, I'm due for a gloss.
And don't mind me, I might be staring at your hair all during this time.
Okay. Thank you. I mean, that's always a compliment. I washed my hair yesterday and I did it all because I was like, I have to have the hair down.
You have to have your hair down, your routine, the curls curling.
It's so I started a new routine recently. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. I started a new routine.
Different?
I'm still using
Wait, what's different?
I'm still using the L'Oreal shampoo and conditioning mask because I will never not. But it's with Inner Sense curl cream and Inner Sense gel.
Oh, I love.
I went to my hair cutter person. I don't know what you call them, but my hair cutter person is the one that told me she told
amazing.
me she was like, you don't use the hydrated, you use the color treated. And I was like, what? And she gave me this whole story about the particles, and she was like, the hydrating is too big, the color is in the middle, so it works better.
Oh, amazing. Okay.
Sure enough,
when you find your hair person, you find them for life.
Well, we're gonna talk about, we're gonna dabble in some trauma.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about the hair as it relates to trauma because it really does, and people do not realize that.
Absolutely.
But before we give the listeners that, they know where I was when I met you.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you were doing before that, but they don't know.
Hi, everyone.
So can you share a little bit about how'd you get into hair?
Sure.
When did you start living in California?
Sure.
Yes.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I'm an LA native, born and raised in Long Beach, and came out to LA in my, teens, 19s, chasing the luxury retail career because the first job I got was at South Coast Plaza.
Ooh.
I was shopping and got recruited by a manager while I was shopping at a store, Club Monaco, if you must know. And and I was like, sure. I lived in Long Beach and I had no idea how I was going to commute to South Coast from Long Beach with no car. I was like 18, about to go start college. And I was just like, sure, let's do it. I applied and I was going to start. And I didn't even think about how I was going to get down there. I just made it happen. And then after that, I think I gave it like 8 months or so, I got a taste of the luxury retail world because Roberto Cavalli came after me.
Oh, nice.
The manager there did. And then I got recruited and I knew it's where I wanted to be at that time. It was just such a fascinating world, tailoring to this type of client that just loved luxury items and the pieces that were there. There was all art and I was obsessed, but I knew I wanted to come to LA. So I made that move and started out here. I went back a little bit to BCBG. So I started below luxury, but then shortly after that, I started at Gucci, where I was 7 years.
Oh, you were at Gucci for 7 years?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I opened one of the stores here and it was fascinating. I learned so much. I feel like I grew up in Gucci. Because I started at 20.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
you were like a baby.
I was a baby. I started at 20. I was promoted within like a year to management role. And it was just wild, intense, full emotion. And this 20-year-old kid from Long Beach experiencing Beverly Hills clients at a world that I just didn't know. But I was eager to learn and eager to get to know. And I loved fashion. And I think that's kind of what helped me, that I had a passion for it. And talking to people was second nature. And 7 years later, that's where I stayed. Yeah.
Well, you're a celebrity hairstylist, so I'm sure that gave you so much. You know how to work with that personality because, like, Beverly Hills moms are not that different.
Absolutely. I still say to this day, if it wasn't for retail, I would not be able to handle this career. So I give a lot of kudos and a lot of props to everyone that just immediately knew that they wanted to do hair. Amazing, because it's more than just hair. It's having a business mindset too. It is wild out there. So me personally, I'm so grateful and so thankful for my retail career because that was what helped me. And I was inspired during retail at Gucci, but some of my friends at a big name salon here, when I heard them say, "Did you see my client on the cover of Vogue?" And that's when it hit. I was like, what? What do you mean by that? They're like, oh, I did their styling on the set. And that's when I was like, oh my God, your art is on the cover of Vogue?
I want to do that.
And I didn't say I want to be a stylist. I was like, I want to color their hair. I was a painter as a kid. I love painting.
Oh my gosh.
So I think that's where it just came from. And I was just determined, and I put myself through school and 2.5 years of chaos. And then I graduated, got my cosmetology license because of that conversation of having a Vogue cover.
But it's always the littlest things that spark us on
Yeah.
such a journey.
Totally. Absolutely.
It's always the littlest
Oh.
things that like take you on. It's crazy
It was
how that happens always.
fascinating. And so I was determined, and then I put myself through assisting, and which you want to do that. I everybody needs to assist, especially for hair. I think, and it was a great experience. And it really, I had an idea of what I wanted, and I had an idea of things, and it helped me connect the dots while I was assisting. I was like, oh, that's how you do that. Oh, that's how you formulate that. Oh, that's how you handle things like that. So I did that for about 2.5 years, but it just so happened that it was through COVID.
Oh,
So-
you were assisting during COVID.
Yeah, so I started right before COVID happened.
Okay.
And so COVID, as soon as that happened, I mean, I barely had like 6 months assisting. And I felt, wow, all that time, 2.5 years that I just put into a license. And now do I even have a career?
Do you even have a career?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Like-
was it because there was like a lot of quote unquote house calls during COVID for
Yeah.
things like that? And like with celebrities, I'm sure they get that pretty frequently.
Yes.
So was there a way to like
Yes.
kind of work?
So in all of what happened, I paid attention. We had to pivot. We had to be creative. We were at house calls all
You're
the time.
so good at that.
We were just, it's funny. My first house call was at a big celebrity's house with my boss who was training me, and I had no idea what I was getting into.
I think I know this
Did
story.
I tell
I'm not
you?
going to say the person, but I know this story.
You know the story. And I was
Yes.
just like, oh my God, I can't believe we're going over. This is my first house call, this big name celebrity.
Yes.
What is that like? So I went online and I found this celebrity hairstylist who would post on their social what they do. And I remember looking at a video that she had a client in the kitchen sink. So I went and saw the video and I took note. Okay, they're going to be in the sink, they're going to be in the bathtub or whatever. So don't make a big deal. Just go with the punches. But that helped me kind of just be in that mindset of like, don't let anything weird you out.
Yes. And they were lovely, right?
Oh, they were so
Yeah.
lovely. Nothing is out of the normal. Anything goes. They know that you're in their home. So if they have to be in the tub, they have to be in the tub. If I have to hold them in the tub with them, kind of what I did. That's what happened. So
Listen, a lot of people would pay to be in that position.
absolutely. And then I went home thinking, I can't believe I just had that experience. It was wild. But to further that, it was just a lot of taking note. We were moving so fast, and we were moving in a time where just things were evolving and things were changing. And one day we were at a salon because all of a sudden we opened, and then we're back at house calls because we're closed again.
Yeah, I just know from like my experience with my hair, like COVID was such a weird game you were playing almost with your
Absolutely.
hair.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And a lot of hair loss happened.
Oh,
during
because
that
COVID
time.
is a lot of, well, that's
Mhm.
actually interesting because you say that because when I was getting my wigs, when my hair fell out and I wasn't at the point of extensions yet because I had no hair,
Yeah.
a girl that I met while I was getting my wig,
Yeah.
the reason why she had wigs was because during COVID, all her hair had fallen out and it hadn't come back.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we didn't know. And I'm not sure if it's still known or what exactly happened, but in our experience, the women, everyone, and even before we knew what COVID was, we were starting to see the shed, or that it was because
Yeah.
of COVID. So that was also an experience. I was just like, what do we do? We got to learn what's going on. How do we treat this? How do we guide a client that they're going to be okay when we don't even know that they're
Yeah.
going to be okay?
Well, because also like when your hair is falling out, like it's truly the worst. I mean,
Absolutely.
something that I learned or someone said to me is because the first time I cried after, other than I cried first when they told me I couldn't drink. And I was like, I can't have espresso martinis for a year. But the first time I cried for like a serious reason, like not a stupid, thing that a 23-year-old is going to cry about, but like a legitimate reason, was when my hair started falling out. It was not when I learned I had brain surgery. It was not when I learned about everything else that I had going on and was going to get, it was when my hair started falling out.
Yeah.
And I was like, is this vain? Is this weird? And then when I was, same thing, at the place where I was getting my wigs, I met chemotherapy patients who told me the hardest part for them of their cancer experience was
Wow.
when their hair started falling out. And I'll never forget what this one person said to me. And whenever I talk about my hair loss, I say it. She said, it's because you can see death on the body. You see what you've lost, that's not going to come back. And in the terms of something like cancer, you see what you could potentially completely lose. Like you see what could happen to you entirely.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think it's interesting, death of the body. I never looked at it that way, but I can understand and see why. Because based on what I see every day with clients when they look in the mirror, and me personally. I mean, today I knew it was coming. So what did I do yesterday? I called my hair girl too, and I was like, I need a haircut. I need it. Does it look good? It's like it's a big part of your identity, and it's a big part of even just your outfit or what you think. Like for me, let me rephrase that. Like for me, for example, if I have a good hair day, I'm going to step it up with my outfit. If I feel like I'm having a good hair day, if I feel like my hair is not really cooperating, I'm like, okay. So the energy goes down.
At what I'm wearing right now.
So then you don't want to try. It's interesting, right?
Yeah.
I've never looked at it the way. And so that's why I feel like how you said that they feel like death, because if you're losing the hair and it's all or shedding or something, or you have to shave it for some reason, for some traumatic experience, or you have to go under surgery, you are losing, in a sense, a part of you.
Yeah. Well, when I got my extensions in finally, I literally say it was like getting a piece of myself back.
Yeah.
And it lifted me so much because it was getting a piece of myself back that I had, because my hair has always been something that's kind of stood out about me. Like I say, I could never commit a crime because they would 100% be able to spot who it was. I could never commit a crime. But it was truly getting a piece of myself back. And in your experience working with clients, when they undergo some hair transformation, and I know now you do individual extensions, and I don't know if you've done them for anyone who's kind of lost their hair, or just like during COVID when you see people kind of get their hair back, like, or even just like they get a nice haircut, or a nice hair color. How do you see the client's disposition change from before their hair was done till after?
Well, first I got inspired because I worked at a big name salon that had beautiful hair, and a big brand that had beautiful hair to offer clients for to wear to get it installed. And I noticed that there were, how I see it, is two types of clients. There's one that wants it for the look, for that wow, for the glam. But then there's also the client that went through something horrible and need it because of hair loss, or also it's thin, the hair is thin, they don't have a lot of hair density, and so they want to feel really good.
It's so tied to beauty standards.
Absolutely. And so I noticed that because I was just like, I want to meet both women. I want to wow you because you want that birthday celebration, that New Year's glam, but I also want to wow you because I want to see that face that you see in the mirror light up.
Yeah.
And they feel so good. And that's what I noticed, that as soon as the hair is in, they come to life. It's really interesting. And it's beautiful to watch. And it's fascinating because I've also, now that I've been doing extensions, and I'll tell you how I got into that. But now that I've been doing extensions, there's a time where, you have to remove them, get them rebonded, which is the beauty of the individuals that I do, and then put them back in. But in that period to remove and put them back in, I style the hair so they can leave still feeling okay. And the face they give in the mirror is kind of like, okay, it's always the same.
When I would get my extensions out, and get them rebonded that night or that 2 days or whatever, I wouldn't see people.
Yeah.
Like if anyone asked me to do anything, or I was like, no, can't.
It's really
Yeah.
interesting to
Yeah.
see the demeanor, the feeling, the personality change. It just kind of just like, oh, okay. And I'm always making a joke. I'm like, you're welcome. At least I still styled you.
So,
And they're
yeah.
like, thanks for this. And I'm like, don't worry, you'll get it back in like a day or two. So it's really fascinating how much it means to someone and how impactful having full hair is for someone. And now I can say that too because I've noticed my density losing, and I'm back on taking not medication, but hair pills to keep the
Yeah.
vitamins going and hopefully grow my hair back. And I did it because of the certain way a light hit me. I was just like, oh, where's all the density going? I don't have
Yeah.
as much hair as I used to. So I can relate in that sense
Yeah.
how important it is.
I mean, just living it like it's just like, yeah, you get it. Like it's just, I lit up. I still have the selfies because I remember I texted one of my best friends
Yeah.
selfies as soon as I got my hair back. And like, I had not smiled that big since before I had gotten hurt. Like, I truly hadn't. Like, it was
Yeah.
the only thing I had to be really happy about since I had gotten hurt.
Yeah.
Like, I had things to kind of be happy about. But I mean, I saw hairstyles at Coachella 6 months after my accident. So that was, I'll tell that story another time. But that was good. I don't remember it. I have no idea how my parents let me do that. It was because it was on my birthday.
Yeah.
And I was like, please let me do this. And it was on
Aw.
my birthday. My mom stayed in Palm Springs. It was a whole thing. I was
Yeah.
staying at a friend's house. Her older sister was there watching over me.
Yeah.
But like that, I don't remember it. But like other than that time when I got to see Harry Styles, getting my hair back was the only standout happy moment that I can remember since my accident.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, but I did want to ask you, and you briefly brought it up.
Yes.
You're doing the individual extensions
Yes.
now.
Mhm.
How did that happen? Because when I met you, you were only doing color.
Yes, absolutely. So I was truly inspired. So I started for this hair salon and hair brand. I started custom coloring bundles, just one after another, and doing my work and saw what a big difference it did from seeing beautiful hair already, but transforming it with highlights or a different tone. And so I customize all these bundles or ponytails, however you want to call them, for individual clients. But someone else was installing. And so sometimes I would also color the client's hair and the bundles, and then someone else would install. Or I would just custom color the bundle, someone else colors the client, and then someone else installs. It was 3 people. But I thought to myself, why not finish my masterpiece?
I'm like, yeah.
Wait, this is my art. My hair is going, not my hair, but it felt like it was my hair because I finished it and I would put so much love, so much
Yeah.
attention, and hours of doing this beautiful hair. And someone walks by and sees it and immediately feels, this is what I want because they see that that's their dream hair. I want the opportunity to finish my work.
I love that.
And that's what inspired me. I was just like, okay, I already color you and I'm coloring this. Let me finish it because now I can see exactly where it's being placed. Now I can see where I can adjust. And I've done that as a colorist. I'm not as a hairstylist or a cutter, but as a colorist, after I'm done installing, sometimes I do feel like, oh, there's like a missing highlight. Then I can go and add a highlight and do it. And then I finish my work. And that's so fulfilling
Oh my God, I love
that I get to do that now. And I'm so excited.
Like your hair makes you so genuinely happy. Like I remember when you found like my perfect tone, but you came back and you found a more perfect one and more perfect. But I remember distinctly the first you found, you were so happy.
So excited.
You
So
were
happy.
so happy.
Absolutely. And that's the feeling I got. So I had that feeling with color already, but when I got a taste of coloring extensions and then now installing, I felt that inspiration again. You know, it was just very powerful to feel like I'm a student all over again. And here I am. Okay, let's go. Let's start this. And then I'm learning as I go. So I'm fairly new in that aspect of the business, but it's growing and I'm very happy where I am and can tell you more about it. I mean, I found beautiful hair already that I'm importing.
Oh
So
my God.
I'm in it, and if you've known me and you've
Yes.
seen my growth,
You're really
if I
right.
sign up for something, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it 100%.
You're an Aries.
So
You're
there you go.
Aries.
There you go.
You're an Aries.
So I'm excited to say that. Yes, you'll wait till you see the bundles
Oh
that I
my
get
God.
to play with and brush. Speaking of brushing, I just remembered. So as a kid, I used to play with my cousin Barbies, and I think this is where it all comes from. But my version of playing Barbies, I was literally telling her, like, I want the newest Barbie you just got that your mom just bought you. And then I would just grab it and then just brush it for hours.
Oh,
And,
really?
she wanted to play like around like the house and do things. I
And
don't
you
know how
just
you actually
wanted
play Barbies, but I just wanted to
you
brush.
just wanted to brush the Barbie's
Yeah.
hair.
And
That
now I get to
is
brush beautiful hair
that
all
is
day.
so
Yeah.
fascinating because it's like so interesting how the little things you do as a kid are so signified like who you're gonna
Yeah.
be down the line.
Absolutely.
And I think it's so interesting.
Yeah.
Like I'll never for like something that I always talk about back when I was much of an actor is when I was 3. Yes, when
Mhm.
I was 3, I was in my preschool's Christmas play. I was in my preschool's Christmas play, and or no,
You're so young.
there's a few stories, yeah, when I was 3 and when I was 4 and when I was 5, because we did the same
Yeah.
Christmas play each year. And I'll tell this story about the time when I was 4. Because a 4-year-old girl was picked to be Mary in the nativity scene,
Mhm.
and all the other 4-year-old girls like did whatever and they were put elsewhere. And I wasn't the 4-year-old girl chosen to be Mary. And I was legitimately so mad about it. And they told me because the Mary doesn't talk. And they were like, we need your voice in the songs.
Wow.
And I was like, I didn't take that seriously. I was like, you're just saying this to make me feel better.
Right.
But they gave me one line. I was an inn owner. Mary didn't have any lines. I got a line. It was, sorry, there's no room in the inn. Because the story is she had to give birth in the stable because all the inns were like
Right,
closed.
right,
So
right.
my line was, sorry, there's no room in the inn. And I was like, I'm going to steal the show with my
I
one
was
line.
imagining, I'm sure you made that line and you made it your own.
I
Love that.
stole the show. All the parents started hysterically laughing,
Love it.
which to me was like, because who laughs during a nativity scene? But this 4-year-old comes out and goes, sorry, there's no room in the inn. Like dramatically walks away. I stole the show. Like I stole the show. And I was like, yeah, screw you. You should have made me Mary.
I love that. You had your moment.
I had my moment. Mary didn't have any lines.
It's a great life lesson.
It's a great life lesson.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Ding, ding, ding.
Such a spiritual thing.
You had to make it your own.
Use
and
what you
adapt
have.
to that change.
Use what you have. Instead of trying to
yeah.
get something, work with what you have.
Exactly. I
It's a
love
whole
that.
thing.
Wow.
Yeah,
That was powerful.
I said that like every appointment we have, I walk away with some spiritual takeaway. I feel like we've been prepping for this conversation.
I know.
Since we started doing my hair.
Since you probably had so many ideas as we were like talking for the last couple of weeks, months.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And especially it was so interesting to me because for some reason, and I know I can't be the only one,
Yeah.
people trust beauty specialists, like their hair, people so much. Like I've told you things I haven't told good friends of mine. You've seen me have like mental breakdowns like a few days before my housewarming.
Yes, I
A few
did.
days before my housewarming, I was in a place.
No judgment. Yes, I did. We see it.
Yes.
And it stays within.
Yes. Yes. And
Yeah.
I know I can't be the only person that's done that.
No.
Why do you think it is that your clients like just trust their hair people so much and are like willing to be in that vulnerable state?
I think exactly because of that. Because we see them with their hair washed, not done. We see them with dirty hair coming in. We see them in the middle of cutting hair. And you've seen those memes online when it's like you're wearing the cape.
And that's the ugliest you've ever
and you look
looked.
the ugliest you've So, it feels like we see them at not quite their best, to me. I mean, I think everyone, they're beautiful and natural beauty is beautiful. So, but I understand how they feel because I feel like that too when I'm wearing that cape. But
The cape.
And you're spending one-on-one attention on a daily basis. And for me at least too, I give you've seen my appointments. Like I'm with you to the beginning to the end. I do not walk away from you. So it's one of those things that when you're there, we're there together from the start. So I feel like it opens up opportunity of the walls come down. And as the more you visit and the more you get to know each other, I've shared things too that I think it creates trust,
Yeah.
and
Definitely, yeah.
creates trust within. And And have a way I feel like, because I genuinely keep it between us, that people open up.
Yeah.
And I take it, and sometimes it's for advice that they ask for, or something is just for someone that they want someone to listen.
Yeah, I
And
definitely know how that feels because I distinctly remember one thing that I talked about with you that I didn't feel like I could go to any of my friends with,
yeah.
but like I needed to talk to
Yeah.
someone who wasn't my
Oh
mom
my
about
God.
it.
No, you're so right. Yeah,
Yeah.
because why? Because you would think she would be biased, or your
Yes.
friends would pick a side, and so you're seeking someone that doesn't know who
Yeah.
you're talking
Just
about.
a
So they're
neutral look.
They're gonna look. You want to know what I think? I think this, and I'm a person too, so I can relate to a lot of things that happened. And if even if there's an age gap between me and the client, like if they're younger, I can, when I remember when I experienced something like that, I can give you my 2 cents. Or sometimes it's not even about like listening to my advice. I'm not an advice giver. It's just about letting it out.
It's just about like
And you just need someone there so you can just let it out.
all people do, and that's like the main thing. All people want is to be heard.
Yes.
The main thing that people want is to
Yeah.
be heard.
Absolutely.
Like one of my best friends who was so there for me during the thick of everything,
Mhm.
she was like, I would let you spiral even when when it was really bad. She was like, I would let you spiral even if what you were saying was totally unhinged, irrational, didn't make sense. She was like, I would let you spiral because I knew you just wanted someone to hear you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I've done that too. I just let it out. Tell me more as I'm there. I'm in the middle of shampoo bowl. Here's an extra massage as you're crying. And now that I have my own studio now, so I'm
Yes.
super excited for that. And I feel like that even created a sense of a safer space
That did, it
because
did. Because I've only been to it once. I need to go again because I need to
yes,
gloss. But I've only been to it once, but it does because it's only you.
it's only
It's
me
only
and
you.
you.
No one else is there.
Mhm.
And like something you were just talking about how you're with the client from the beginning to the end.
Mhm.
That is something that the person who cuts my hair, it's the exact same thing. She's
Mhm.
also her own similar setup to you.
Mhm.
She's in the place above the Real on
Oh, I love
Melrose.
that. Yes, I
Yes.
have friends in there, and I
Yeah,
love that
yes.
location.
Yes. And she says that she likes to be with you from the
Mhm.
beginning of the end. And
Yes.
like she was like, she's the curly hair person and she trained with some of the best hair, the quote unquote best hair people. But she's
Mhm.
like, they're not actually the best. Like one I even know. And I was on
Yeah.
the wait list for 6 months to get a haircut with him. And
Wow.
then it was like,
Oh,
like,
wow.
and she was like,
I have a wait list now. I'm just kidding.
you do?
I'm just kidding.
Well, this guy, he like cut
Yeah, right.
Beyonce's hair. So he's very high demand. The haircut, so mediocre.
Amazing. I love. No, I feel like it's powerful. It's
Yeah.
very powerful to give the one-on-one intention. And if she has a wait list, it's probably because she's not going to just throw you in
Yeah.
between.
Because
That I appreciate because when that used to happen to me too, before I even got into hair, and it was just thrown in between, I was just like, wait. You said you didn't have any appointments, but you're squeezing me in? Is it gonna like it always was a mind thing of like, are you still gonna take the time that you normally
and
take?
then from the business perspective, the tipping thing is so weird because the assistant actually does the bulk of the work. And it's like, but the financials go to the hair cutter, even though
Right.
even though the assistant is with the client way more. Like the financials, I can imagine on your end when you were an
Right.
assistant is very frustrating.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. One thing I noticed is that because it is almost more like a sacred space now, I incorporated to tie all the feelings together is crystals.
You incorporated
So I
crystals?
incorporated crystals because I figured you're coming here for self-care from the
Yes.
outside for your beauty, right? That's a
Yes.
part of essential
Oh,
self-care.
it is. So is.
But crystals are self-care from the inside too.
They
At least that's how
are.
I see them. And they give you that feeling and that spiritual meaning. And so I have that in my space. I have crystals for you, and they're a theme. I don't have everything like, oh, I'm a Libra or I'm this. Like, do you
Yes.
have this stone? It's a theme of self-empowerment.
Oh, I love
So
that.
I have some that are for growth, for more success, for creativity, for love, for protection, like things like that, just for self-empowerment for yourself. So I feel
love
like,
that.
and every now and then I'll come across someone experiencing something, and because I have my crystals there, I'm like, this is for you. Here you go. Just take it. It's telling me, just take it.
So
They're there for
generous.
retail, but it's part of my thing too. That
Yeah.
if I feel it, I have a strong connection. Here you go.
You gave me crystals!
Wait, I gave it away.
Oh my God!
Here you go.
Oh my God. I love this because I love crystals, and the internal and external is so connected. That's why I think beauty specialists should come
Absolutely.
in when you're in your comas.
Absolutely.
Oh
so
my
I
God.
got this and I immediately thought of you. It's a fluorite. Ah, you haven't opened it yet. Sorry.
No. Okay. Tell me.
Do you know the meaning?
No.
Okay. So this is what I read, and it always stuck to me when
Oh my
I
God,
was
this
in
is
need of
beautiful.
fluorite. So fluorite is for keep you focused. And I took it literally as like, okay, I'm ADD, like I'm all over the place. I need to focus. No, it puts you on your right, truthful path. So it keeps you where you need to be to be able to make decisions to keep you at your highest level and to make sure that you're always on your true path and make it easier to make those decisions to get you there. So
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to do right now.
it spoke to me and I was like, this has your name on it. I think you need it.
Thank you. This is perfect. Can I give you a hug?
Yes.
This is
Aw.
so beautiful too.
Not in your bedroom because it'll keep you like super
No,
hyped up.
100%. I know exactly where this is going. Thank
Great.
you.
Yeah, I love it. So
my gosh.
that's kind of a thing that you come in and it's all about self-care.
But I
In and out. Yeah.
love that because well, one of the things that like it was no brainer for me to come
Yeah.
for you to come on this podcast is because you're also on that spiritual juju.
You're so sweet.
And it's people don't realize how important looking like yourself and feeling like yourself, like, because looking like yourself equates to at least partially feeling like yourself. And when you're trying to heal, that's part of it. And self-care, like the external and the internal are so closely connected.
Yeah.
That's why I will, always have my take and die in that hill. That's while you're in your coma, they should come in and do your highlights, cut your hair, do that skincare routine because you need it.
Right.
But so many people I know with that take think that it's incredibly vain and like that's not what the concern should be at the current moment.
Right.
Well, but how would you say how important self-care is to healing? Because it is.
Absolutely. I think it can tie to insecurities too. So trauma is definitely going to be a big thing, self-care, so that you feel you're already going through this incredible, just given a second chance at life. So you want to feel and look your best, so that you don't feel lost. But I feel like when people say like it's a little vain if you want to look your best while you're in a hospital bed, I can see why. It's because you're dealing with just the health issues first. But feeling positive about where you're at also in that moment is going to help you have that mental strength
So
to
is.
get through it,
It
That's the
so
only way I
is.
can see it, where if you really sit someone down and be like, no, it's not about being vain. I need to feel good too.
Yeah.
And that's so important. I mean, it's more common being talked about now about mental health. So I think that's where the change has to be is it's truly the feeling.
It
Honestly.
truly. One of the first, I wanted to get out of rehab in inpatient rehab so badly for a bunch of reasons. But one of the primary reasons was I wanted to get back to my hair products.
Yeah.
I wanted to get back to my hair products. And like the first things, or like two of the first things I did when I got out of inpatient rehab, and it was still in my neck brace, still looked terrible, but two of the first things I did was get my hair cut and get my highlights done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that's because it's almost like the first thing you also see in the mirror.
Yes.
When you get in the shower and your routine and you're about to start, what do? You're in the mirror. You're looking at your face. You're doing your layers of the skin routine. You're doing your products. So that's the first thing that comes is prepping this. And then the outfit later, at least I think, for a lot of people.
Yes.
So I think that's how it's more important, and how we talked earlier too. It's like if my hair looks good, I feel like I can step it up with my outfit. So it's this is more of an emotional connection to give you that, and not in a vain way. I'm talking about more of giving you that empowerment and that what's the word? Just to make you feel good.
Yeah, giving that I just call it I said when I got my hair back, it was like I was rejuvenated again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you feel, and it doesn't necessarily mean like everyone has to be in the same alignment with you. They may not perceive you as beautiful, but you're
You
feeling
feel
great.
yes.
That's going to translate.
When I officially got my extensions out for good
Mm-hmm.
in January of 2024, and like
Mm-hmm.
my hair was back and it was my hair, and I got my extensions out for good, which is funny because I, at first, when I had my extensions, was like, I don't think I'm ever gonna want these out. They look so good. And then when I was a few weeks, I think I almost convinced myself of that because
Yeah.
I had to.
Yeah.
And then when I was like a couple weeks out from getting them out for good, I could not wait.
Yeah.
Because when I got them out for good, I was literally like stepping into my power.
Right.
It was like,
Yeah.
I'm back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you've come a long way. You've witnessed
Yes.
it. And look what happened. I can still remember that day, and I saw it on your social. Or I don't know if you texted me, but I saw it, and it was so powerful to see because it made me realize the feeling that doing hair gives someone
Yes.
is when I asked you to take pictures.
Yes.
Remember that day?
Yes. Oh my
I
God.
asked you to, I was like, wait, I love your tone so much. And your curls, I've never taken your picture. I had, but then I can forget it. Let's do a picture. And you were just like, wait, what?
Boy, it was such a magical day for me.
It like blew you away. And I had no idea that was not my intention. It was just more, it was a normal thing for me to do. But just how you made you feel was so powerful.
Because I'd lost all my hair. I had to grow all this back. And then you were like, I want to take a picture. Like, I was like,
you were like, I'm your hair model?
I was like floored.
And you were because I was proud of it. And it looked so beautiful too. And I for a second, I just forgot like where your journey was, and it reminded you, and
like all this had to come back.
Those kind of things re-inspire me to keep doing what I do, and again, it's all about the feeling.
It's all about the feeling.
It's all about the feeling.
Our perception is our reality.
Yeah.
But that actually leaves us at a perfect place. Okay, so someone is in where I was at in my situation at like the beginning of everything, where either the hair is currently falling out, the hair has just fallen out.
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell someone who is going through this emotion, just the aspect of they've lost all their hair, albeit due to, I know some people pull their hair out because they have a specific kind of anxiety where they feel like they pull their hair out. There's obviously chemotherapy. There is alopecia, bodily trauma, COVID, as we've, has unfortunately happened to a lot of people. Yeah.
Let me ask this before I answer. Is this person still like at the stages where they're still in the hospital, or are they out?
They're out of the hospital.
Out of the
They're
hospital.
out of the hospital. They're out of the hospital. That piece of it is done. Now it's their hair is either falling out or it's completely fallen out.
Don't give up hope. You're a testament to that.
Yeah.
Turn to what's going to make you bring back that feeling. And I know it's going to be impossible to really hold on to that now. It's probably even so far away in his or her mindset that they might not see themselves coming back. But hold on to that hope and do something that's going to make you feel better. Whether talk to, I would say, hey, it's hard for me to answer that. I think that was one of the questions I struggled because it's like, how do you help someone navigate through such trauma? All you can do is just offer your expertise. But if your expertise in hair, you can just present them with a thorough consultation or entertain like what you did. Wig ideas, extension ideas, things like that, and have fun with them and don't make them feel like they're not alone. They are not. It may not feel that they are alone in that moment, but somehow be with them and follow up, I would say. I feel them and they're not alone. That's all I can say. And I'm happy. I'm so happy to be here with you because when I first heard your story, when I first met you, you made me cry. I don't even remember, but we met at a salon at Olympic. And you were telling me your story when I first met you in our first class.
Oh, yes.
And I got really emotional because I was just like, wow, your attitude with that was so beautiful.
Thank you.
How you were just like, I know I'm coming back. You were determined. And I would say listen to your podcast and listen, go out there and seek stories because that's going to give motivation.
Yeah.
When you hear other people I guess that would be my advice. Seek people that have gone through something that you have and find the motivation for you
Yeah.
because you're not alone.
That is, yeah, that's
Mhm.
beautiful because I talk about so many times how with my recovery, what like really was the catalyst for me getting my
Mhm.
life together and my
Mhm.
spiritual growth was meeting, going on this brain injury retreat and meeting other survivors
Okay.
and being
Yeah.
like, okay, like,
Perfect. Yeah.
and a lot were further out from their injury than me. And like, this is what they did. And I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, it's gonna be okay. Like that was,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
it's gonna be okay.
So yeah, exactly. I think that's something that in any situation, obviously in that's something that you're going through that's super traumatic, but in life, I think you kind of seek things that you can learn from
Yeah.
to help you get through, you know.
Well, at least we tried to.
At least we try to.
At
Yeah,
least we tried
exactly.
to.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, one thing I wanted to ask
Hmm.
you, and
Sure.
this is sort of my rec. So this is what I do. So every week I give a rec of some
Okay.
piece of content, except for the last episode I recorded. Or no, two episodes. I talked about this last time I recorded. So never mind.
Tell
No,
me.
but two
Yeah.
episodes ago when I recorded with my guest, it was so Nick had to leave by a certain time and I wanted to get through a certain amount of things. And it was so like boom, 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 boom
Hmm.
that I completely forgot about the rec question. And I said, this is why I need to be in a place of podcast success where I can have a producer to
I
make sure
love
I
it.
don't do those things. But what I do every week is I give a rec of
Hmm.
some resource, be it a book, a movie. I've
Hmm.
had stand-up shows recommended, a
Hmm.
podcast I had recommended one time that
Hmm.
supports spiritual growth in some way. And it could be like the simplest thing, like somebody recommended Forrest Gump and like
Hmm.
why they think that supports spiritual growth or what
Hmm.
that taught them. So when I have guests, I like to ask the guest for their
Hmm.
recommendation because I feel like I give enough.
That was a kind of an easy question. I think I can't recommend a movie or a book, but I can recommend a
You
crystal
just
shop.
need one thing, a crystal shop.
Hmm. A crystal shop. And I'll say this, the first time I walked into a crystal shop, I kid you not, I was there for 5 hours.
Yeah, oh my God.
I don't know how time flew. I kept circling the place, picking up. I had a tray full of crystals.
And you were just,
And they kept asking me, "Are you guys okay?" I was with a friend. And they were like, "Are you guys okay? Are you guys okay?" And then before we knew it, was like 5 hours later.
because you could do so much with crystals.
I was just lost and intrigued and fascinating, lost in the sense of immersed in this crystal world. So I say for spiritual growth, go into a crystal shop, just walk in and don't read what they all
Just
mean.
see what you feel and what
Just
you're
see
drawn
what
to.
you're drawn to. Walk in and then just if something draws your attention or calls you, just grab it, hold it.
I'm
If
going to
you
do
can't
that.
let it go, there's a reason. If you put it back, there's a reason. Just walk in. And then after, you'll find that you're like, I can't stop looking at that stone. Like, what is it? Then read it.
I'm going to
And then it
do
makes
that
sense. I've
because
always done it that way.
I've gone into shops where like
Yeah.
there's a specific crystal that like I read on the internet, it means this. And I'm like, I know I
Yes.
want that crystal. And
So
like,
you then hunt for it
so
for
then
with a
you hunt for
meaning.
it, but I've never done just
Go to a crystal
feeling.
shop. Go immerse yourself into one and
Okay.
spend an hour.
Spend
Yeah.
an hour.
Just walk. Absolutely.
Just walk
Yeah.
around, feel it.
Oh yeah. I remember being one of my really, really good friends when he was still living here. He would call me. He's like, I need my crystal fix. And I'm like, me too. Let's go. I feel like I'm missing something. And then we would go to crystal shops and drive and have lunch and go to like 3 or 4 of them here in LA.
That is such a day.
And then we would walk out with like 3 crystals each.
That
And
is
we were like,
such a
okay, now I
day.
feel better.
That is such a day.
Yeah. Oh, and
That
it was
is
so fun. And we
such
felt
a-
better. It re-energized us. We went home and then that feeling continued.
That is so much of a better thing to do with their friends than like go to a bar. Like
Yeah.
that is
Yeah,
so
yeah.
amazing.
That's what we would do. It was so funny because either him or I will initiate. I need my crystal fix. So
Oh my God. I'm going to ask a friend to do that. They're going to
Yeah.
be like, okay, what? But
What?
then I'm going to be like,
What do
we
you
got to
mean?
do this.
Absolutely. And then I would walk out with either bracelets and necklaces or something, and but it was always fulfilling at the end of the day.
Yes.
And then I would carry that energy for like the next weeks, like in months. And And where did you put your new crystal? We would text each other, so things like that.
Okay.
I sound silly, but no, it works.
No, that's a fantastic recommendation.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for giving us that.
You're welcome. Absolutely.
This has been so lovely.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Oh,
Thank you
well,
for saying
thank
all those
you.
great things about me. I was like, what?
I'm so
But
glad we finally
thank
got to do
you.
this.
I know, me
I
too.
know. We
Me
talked about
too.
this for so long. Yes, I'm so
Absolutely.
happy.
And I'll tell, I'm happy to see you because I feel like you've seen me and my growth. So I'm happy to be here with you and see your growth
Yes.
too and grow together.
Thank you very much.
It was truly just so special for me to be here with you.
Oh my God.
Because
thank
I'm
you.
like, I'm rooting for you. I'm like, yes, let's do this. I love your story. It's fascinating. I think it's beautiful. And I love your spirit after it. I've been drawn to that energy since I've met you. So I'm here because I'm just like, go girl, you got this.
Thank you so much. That's why you were the first person I asked. I knew it just worked. Thank you so much,
welcome.
Izzy.
You're so welcome.
And before we say goodbye, tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me, so I have a private studio in Beverly Hills. It is on Wilshire and kind of Beverly Hills adjacent, but you can contact me. I'll leave my socials with you so there's a way. I'm requesting email to request an appointment. So if they can email me, that'd be great. So we can start a conversation, do like a little quick consult, and then go from there.
Amazing.
But I'm here in the heart of Beverly Hills. So
yes, and I'm gonna have his social in my notes.
Yes.
Mr. Izzy Color, but
Absolutely.
I'm gonna there's an underscore.
I'm working on a website and working on getting
okay.
a business line and all that. So
Basic,
hopefully
'cause
it's a
I'm
little
not-
more streamlined. But
I'm
for
not
now,
dropping this won't be out for a bit. So hopefully that's up and I can put it in the
then we
episode.
can put it in. Exactly.
And I can put it in the episode.
I figured I needed it. So.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And always like, subscribe, review, tell your friends.
Everything.
Preferably good things, but also live your truth, speak your truth. This has been Gabriella Rebranded. Win most, lose some. Meeting Izzy was a most.
Love it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
It's been so great.